So guys, our mouse is going great. I mean, now probably it's not exactly the best, but it's okay. Now the next thing I want to do is go again to the hands and the legs, go to tab, and now I want to duplicate the leg to make the foot. Interesting. This is just basics. We need to put the basics on, and then in the sculpting mode we can make whatever we want from these basics, but we need to have them. Of course, I can show you another way of doing it without those basics, but it's a little bit more... I use it, yes, but for you, I honestly think that this way will be better. So we will go to our mouse hovering the leg and then press L, and now the whole leg is selected. Wow. Now we press Shift D to duplicate. Shift D. Is it the right? Yeah. Can we duplicate it with right click? I don't know. I never have done that. I think this is... Maybe it's possible. Maybe it's possible. But Shift D I think is the best. So Shift D and then rotate it with R. Maybe scale it a little bit. Move it. Yeah, I sometimes very much use this this gizmo. It's not a problem. And this could be it, but a little bit smaller. And make sure the feet are pointing outward. You see? They're not pointing forward. They're pointing a little bit outward, like in the concept. Because this makes the concept looks and your model looks nice. So press tab to exit this mode, or go directly Control tab down to sculpting mode. Now we are on the sculpting mode. I will go to the body itself and notice that I made the body let's go to X to symmetry, because if we don't have symmetry it will be bad. I made the body directly with one mesh, and the arms and legs are from another mesh, which is more convenient because now I can move the body. I can make it a little bit like a bean shape, more or less, and not touch the hands and the legs. I don't touch them, at least not yet. Okay, a little bit of a beanie shape, you see. The upper part is the rib cage, and the lower part here is the belly and the ass. Yeah, we'll have ass. Then I will go to Alt and Q to this one, and then, for example, I want the legs to be a little bit wider, a little bit thicker on the upper part, so I will go and inflate them with my inflate brush. Then I will smooth where I want them to be thinner, and then I will inflate where I want them to be thicker, and I will inflate the whole front part here. And don't worry that it's inflating also the bottom part. We can fix this very easily. And since the legs have this kind of a very thin thickness on them, I will make it thinner. And now, if I want to make the foot straight like this in the bottom part, what I do? I press 1 on the numpad, so I can go exactly from the front view, and I go, and let me check out all the... Okay, I go to this brush here, line project. So I go to it, and I start from left to right. I start from left to right. If you start from right to left, it will be a different result. So from left to right, and then I press Control to snap it, and I hold Control, and I press spacebar to move it. And now I move it and I press it here, and you see what happens. It's just flatten this area. We can see it. Wireframe. It just flattened it upward, which is great, and I use it all the time for the character feet. This is amazing. Of course, for now, our legs and body are pretty long, but we will go and put our image, go to 1, and then we have to adjust it. I will go to my body, or the mouse body, not my body again, yeah, and I will move this up, and it disappeared. Why? Because I was not on my move brush. So Control Z, and I will go to G to grab brush. I'll make it a little bit smaller, and then I will push this up. So I think this long body will be nice. Then I'll go to the legs with Alt Q. Hopefully I'll want the legs, no, but I will try. I will try a few times to go. And now I'm on the legs and I cannot move them. Why? This is impossible to tell. Probably there is a mask all around them. I will go to A and clear mask. Hopefully this will fix it. It's not fixing it. Why? Now, I can see now when something like this happens, what I do is Alt Q on some other parts and then try to go again to the part that I want. And again, it's not working. I'm on the G and I can't move it. Can't touch this. Yeah, let's remove the wireframe from here. The wireframe, by the way, for each object, you can turn on and off when you go to this square, which is, let me see, this is the object properties. Then go to viewport display and turn on and off the wireframe. It's pretty convenient in some ways. So I have to be able to move it now. I'm not, because I don't have symmetry. Let's try with symmetry and see what happens. Now I'm able to move it. I don't know why I shouldn't be able to move it without symmetry, but whatever. I press 1 and then with the big move brush I move it up until we have something like this. And I will move it. I move them closer together, the legs, and they will be even closer, but for now this is enough. The arms are okay relatively, and I will disable my image plane visibility. And now from other viewports I will start to adjust the legs a little bit like this. From the top view a little bit I will make it. And here I will increase the size of this. And of course, when we connect them, because they are now separate objects, it will be more appropriate. Now I will inflate this area, with shift I smoothing, and with smooth, this kind of tube objects, when we smooth them, they get thinner. And what I like to do here is to make a elbow. I always make my characters bent on the elbows. I never make them completely straight arm. It's boring to be completely straight arm, and also, especially in this case, our pose will be, both hands will be almost 90 degrees in the elbows. So we need to do that. At the end of the road here, at the end, with G, I'm just moving it so I can make the palm. And as you can see, the palm itself, you see the palm, is much wider than the wrist. So this guy, the mouse, will have, you see my palm, how wider, it's almost twice the width. And the width in the thumb area is bigger. So I'll go with the thumb a little bit more. And then I'll go with the pinky side of the palm. And you see, this will be our palm at some point. For now, it's just something that could look like a palm, but it's not looking very well yet. But we'll fix it. So this is what I want you to do. Like this, thin, bent in the elbow, and just go around the object, just move with the move brush, and try to not do this kind of things, you know, because it's not looking good. It will not be visible, but it's not looking good. I don't like this. It's okay. Now it looks like a pig again on the face. I don't like it, but whatever. So let me show you, by the way. Let me hide the legs and the arms, and I will go to the body and I will show you how I tend to do the legs. And I just do this and this with the grab brush G. I just go and pull it, then I press Ctrl R, then I press Shift R to kind of fix my resolution of the remesh, and probably this resolution will be fine. Ctrl R, and then I continue with G. I move it, and then we have to fix this area here in the beginning. Then I smooth it, then I go, and yeah, it's maybe faster I would say it's faster, but it's not that precise, and for beginners I don't think it's very nice. For me sometimes it works, but most of the time, especially if I want to do a precise character, I would go with separate meshes, like I showed you. With spheres, just elongated spheres, I put them there and they are fine. Here I will make the beginning of the palm, and maybe I want them to go back down a little bit. And by the way, there is a very interesting brush here, which is the pose brush, and we can increase the size of it. And let's try to pose this. Control R, and it's very strange why it's happening. Now we can, you see, hello people, I am the mouse, no problem. Yeah, so we can pose it. We can put it here, but it's sometimes it's not working very well. We can mask. By the way, we can immediately mask without going to the mask tool by Control Shift dragging. And now I masked everything but the arms, and now I can kinda try to move them. Yeah, it's not very precise, and also I don't exactly know how to use it, probably. This is maybe my fault, but we can put the hands down a little bit with this. And now if we want to disable the mask, you have to go A, clear mask. Yes. And now we can go to G, the grab brush, and continue working on. The same way, by the way, we can make our fingers. We can just extract them from the palm, which is okay, because, for example, in this case, we either will have no fingers at all, it will be like a glove, or we will have 3 fingers. And 3 fingers is easy. 4 fingers is not that easy to make. So we have to be careful with that. But this is the way I do it sometimes. Which I told you I don't recommend that, so I want to undo, and I'm not sure I will be able to. So what I will do is interesting. I will go to object mode, press tab, then I will try to select only the arm. For example, I will select these polygons here. Let's go to 3 polygons, select them, and Control plus will grow the selection. Control plus on the numpad, and I will grow the selection up to here, which is great. And I will X and delete the faces. Then I will select this one, Control plus, and X. I will press X to delete the faces. Now, if we want to fill these holes, we have to press, we have to select the edges and press F. Maybe select the whole edge loop. It will be easier if we can select it. But we can do something else. We can go to edge, like we are now, with 2, the 2 key, and then press just A to select everything. And now if we press F, it will be filled, you see? And I don't need to delete this part. I will show you why. I will go to sculpting mode now with Control tap down. We're on sculpting mode. I will go symmetrize, and you see, obviously. And now Control R, and I will just smooth this. Control R is remeshing, obviously. So, yeah, I just showed you how eventually I could do it, but I don't do it this way. Now we can remesh the arms and the legs. Let's see what kind of... Ooh, this is too big. So I will make it small, small, small. Maybe this... Yeah, in the beginning this will be fine. So I Control R to remesh it. And now you have to be very careful how you smooth. If you smooth it too much, it will happen, this will happen. So don't smooth too much. Smooth just a little bit. And if this happens, you have to go to your inflate brush and just very carefully inflate it back to position until the thickness of the arms and the thickness of the legs is pretty similar. Yes. Now I will go to my one brush, which is the draw sharp, and then I will add just a little bit of definition here on the legs and smooth it, and a little bit like this, and add definition and add. You see, most of the courses in Blender for beginners are kind of more like hard surface modeling. Since I'm a sculptor, digital sculptor, I like sculpting. And in Blender, sculpting is pretty good. It's comparable even to ZBrush, although it doesn't support that much polygons, but that's the main reason. Other than that, it's pretty nice. So we can just continue doing it. So I always extract the thumb, or at least the beginning of the thumb, from this mesh. I just do this. And now it's fine. We need the thumb to be thick, so it will be thick. Don't make the fingers thin. They have to be thick. They have to be big. Because it's a cartoon character, and yeah, they have to be kind of thick. And then the other fingers, I will show you the right way to do them, not my way. My way will be, I showed you, it's just like this. 1, 2, 3, and then refine, refine, refine. It's not the right way. Because sometimes when I want the fingers to look good, I don't use this way. I use the way that I will show you. Now I will Control R to remesh, because the polygons were getting a little bit out of hand here. And see now how the feet are not exactly how we want them. We want them to go outward. So with the big move brush, I will move them outward a little bit, and they will look kind of nice. Then I will go this inward, because you see, they should be close to each other, relatively close, so even closer than I'm doing them now. Closer than this. But there will be time for this. Don't worry about it. We'll have to kind of work on this a little bit more. This is just the beginning. Yeah, it's not that easy to make a character, especially if you're a beginner. And this character looks relatively simple and nothing too much, but it's not exactly like that. There are not too much details on him. He doesn't have like pants or other stuff, but it's not super simple. You will notice that, especially if you're a beginner. If you're an advanced user, like probably some of you are, it could be a little bit easier for you, but still, even for advanced users, to make it look like the concept, it's difficult. You have to be a character artist for that, and you have to have a lot of practice. And I'm trying to help you. I'm trying to give you hints of the relative position of elements. For example, the head, how much time the head goes onto the body, almost one time. Maybe one and a little bit more, but not too much. And the main mistake some people will make, I'm sure that they will make it, is to make the body too big. Maybe almost nobody will make the body too small, but maybe many people will make the body too big. So we have to be careful about that. Before we start the fingers, let me see, we have time. Yeah, we have a little bit of time. We have few ways to make the fingers. What I like to do is a little bit strange, but let's try it. So Control Tab and left to go to object mode, and then I will go here. Now, I want to create a cube, and from that cube, I want to extrude one side of the cube and make kind of a finger with from the cube, which is very interesting, but I don't want this cube to appear in the middle. Like, for example, if I Shift A to add a mesh, and I add a cube, it will appear in the middle of my scene. I don't want to do that. I want this cube to appear exactly here where the finger is. So, Control Z. How to do that? I want to move my 3D cursor. Let me show you how to move your 3D cursor. You Shift and right click where you want it to be. So now my 3D cursor is not in the middle of the scene, it's here. And if you say, wow, but now it's there, how to move it back in the middle? Just Shift C, center, Shift C. It goes to the center. So again, Shift right click where you want it to be, and now every object that we add will appear exactly here. So let's do it. Shift A, Mesh, Cube. Wow, this is big. So I go to Tab, press S, and start making it smaller. By the way, if my mouse is very close to the center of the cube when I start the resizing, I don't have a big control of it. So if my mouse is a little bit away from the cube and I start resizing it or rotating it, I will have much more control over it. So make sure your mouse is not exactly close to the center of the cube or the object you want to resize. Now I will move it so it points, one of the sides points a little bit down. Let's try to do it. Oops, no. So from here I will go away with my mouse and press R and just rotate it. And then press S to make it smaller. And then I will put it right here. It doesn't matter now where it is because we will move it probably. Now, what we want to do is go and press one of the sides while we are on, not on this mode. Because now we are on object mode, on edges. We want to be on faces. So I press 3 on my keyboard and just click this face. Now I've selected only this face. And from the side view, I make sure I'm a little bit on the side here. I can do Control right click. Magic. This is extruding. You can of course press E to extrude and extrude it, but Control right click is very nice because you can do this. You can basically do some crazy stuff, but we need only until here, something like this. And of course, now I will rotate this and move it with G a little bit. And then if we want to move also this middle part, what I'll do is go to 2, to edges, double click to select the edge loop, double click, sometimes it's selecting the edge loop, and press G and we can adjust it. But its overall shape is kind of fine. Of course, what can we do? We will go and do something interesting. Now we will go to add modifier and we will add subdivision surface. The same will be if we press Ctrl 3, for example. But it's not exactly. Let's go out of edit mode and press Ctrl 3. Okay. Now what Blender does is adds a subdivision modifier, which is subdivision surface modifier, this one, and with 3 subdivisions. So now our finger looks like a sausage. We don't want it to look exactly like a sausage. So I'll go to tab, which is edit mode, and I will select all these edges. So this edge, shift, this edge, shift. I'm holding shift to select those edges, but these are not visible. So I will go behind it, select all those. So I'm selecting only the out edges. I'm not selecting those in edges here, inside edges. And when everything is selected, I can do something which will sharpen those edges. And with Shift E, when I press Shift E, now you will see in the top left corner crease +0. When I start moving my mouse now, the crease will increase or decrease. But I want it to be plus around 40, 0.4 for example. The best will be, the worst will be 1. You don't want that. You want something more soft, like for example 0.4. This is Shift E. It's creasing those edges, and this will affect this subdivision modifier, which is great. Now I'll press A to select everything and press S to scale a little bit, then G to move it a little bit here, and now we have one finger. Great, amazing, just perfect. And of course, in the difference with the ZBrush courses that I make, you can always practice with me on this one because Blender is free. You can always download it from the Blender site and just do what I'm doing here. And I highly advise you to do so because practicing will make you good. Without practice, you will not be able to achieve any results. You have to put at least 10 hours in the beginning to get used to to going around the objects, to go in, out, to go with the home button or the delete on the numpad, which is the dot on the numpad. When you are selecting selected some object, it can zoom out with the dot. And also how you can zoom out on this object, zoom in, is with the tilde key. I'm not sure, it's like this key. You see it? Here. And this key will zoom in on your object and hide any other object. When you press it again, of course, everything will get back to normal. So now what I want to do, I want to just make the same fingers, I mean this finger, to put it on the other, yeah. So Shift D while I'm on object mode, and I just move it. I will try to rotate it. It will be difficult. I'll have to go like this and rotate it from here, and rotate it also inward, and G move it. I like my fingers to kind of be not on the same axis, not on the same plane. So this will be okay. Shift D to get the other, rotate it, and then of course very easily with our sculpting tools we'll be able to fix those fingers, but they are looking pretty nice even right now. We can make them thicker or everything. We can go to our sculpt mode and go to one of those fingers. Okay, I cannot do anything in sculpt mode with my tablet. And when this happens, what I do is Alt tap again, and sometimes it's fixed it. Now it could not fix it, which is pretty interesting. Let's Control Q, okay. It's not working, interesting. So I fixed it. I pressed home and some other, I mean, Alt and Tab and home and stuff like this, and then it suddenly start working. I'm not sure. So, but let's put our 3D cursor back. So Shift C to have our 3D cursor in the center, and then in the next video we will continue by what? We will start making a little bit more the head, because it now looks pretty bad, and I like it to be a little bit better. So let's start making it in the next video.